Peace. Yo, I never made knowledge born about Atlantis in this light, but you know, when you look at New York geographically, right? I live up in western New York, right on the border of southern Ontario, which is Canada, right? And when you study the path that the Underground Railroad went through, you know, Atlantis was the goal line of this shit. You know what I mean? When people came through, like Harriet Tubman and a lot of other original people who were enslaved, came through this land, you know, once they crossed the border over into Canada, you know, and went up into Canada. I'm not saying as soon as they broke the goal line, but as soon as they got up into Canada, that was, you know, a degree of freedom that they was able to enjoy. And you know, as a child, you know, my old dad, his mother, which is my old grand, she was born up in Canada. As a matter of fact, she's a great-great-granddaughter of Josiah Henson. If y'all never heard of him, Harriet Beecher Stowe used him in parts of his life as a model. Matter of fact, I brought the book so I can show you. Yeah, that's my family. My grand-old earth was his great-great-granddaughter, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, as a child, you know, my parents have always taught us about that particular part of our chronology, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I grew up knowing that, you know, that's the path that my ancestors took, at least on my old dad's side, you know. Plus, we have 2 million in a Tuscarora native, but, you know, I grew up knowing that as a part of the chronology, you know what I'm saying, of my Koran and shit, you know what I mean? And, you know, it's important to know that, you know what I'm saying? It's definitely important to know that. And, you know, like I was emphasizing, Atlantis is the goal line of the Underground Railroad, you know what I mean? So, even steeped within the conscience of the people that live here, you know what I'm saying, in regards to a lot of the colored people. You know, once you get in that red zone, you know, and suppose, you know, you playing football and shit, right? And, you know, you march the whole length of the field. And once you get in that red zone, you get by that goal line, that defense that allows you to score, you know, people have a lot more of a, there's a lot more, how can I say, guilt placed upon them, because shit, they let you score, you know what I mean? And it's like, historically, a lot of colored people have that type of mentality up here, because they know historically that, you know, they allowed that goal line to be broken. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them may not know it. It's deep and it's subconscious, but a lot of the ones who are conscious of their own chronology, you know, they have that attitude. They kind of look at you like, you know, they look at you like, you motherfuckers. They smile and grin in your face and shit like that. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of them that look at each other like, I know I failed historically and shit. You know what I mean? But you know, that's just a little history. But then too, like I said, my Josiah Henson, he also had, you know, people in his family. Matthew Henson, he was one of the first original men who went to the North Pole and shit, you know what I'm saying? So I have, you know, people in my family, you know, I come from a long line, just like all of us, regardless of what ethnic group you're a part of, you know what I'm saying? Or you consider yourself a part of, black, brown, red, yellow, or white. You always have people in your family who have an extended legacy, whether positive or negative. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, all of us being here today, we are trailblazers of that legacy. You know what I mean? It's not enough for us to just stand back and nostalgically think about what our ancestors done. We have to add on and continue to perpetuate that legacy by contributing what we can to that civilization. You know what I mean? Adding on, building, and, you know, taking away things that, you know, should not be something that should be substantiated in our future generations, you know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to share a little bit about that, about my ancestry. And it's like I said, you know, Josiah Henson, you know, he went through the Underground Railroad. He was born in Charles County, Virginia and shit, you know what I'm saying, 1870, wait, was it 1789, and he's born on the same born day as my daughter, June 15th. But it's like when he was little, he watched his old dad defend his old earth, and because he didn't let this color man disrespect her, they grabbed him and they nailed his ear to a pole and cut his ear off. That's what happened. He's seen that as a child. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, even though if you ever get into reading some of the history of Josiah Henson, it shows how steadfast he was with dealing with the science of righteousness, regardless of how wicked motherfuckers treated him. And that's hard. You know what I'm saying? That's hard. That's very difficult to do, you know what I mean? It's very difficult. It takes a lot of strength, mentally and physically, as well as emotionally, to be able to put up with some bullshit and not lash out, you know what I'm saying? And compromise, you know, your family and things like that. And it took him some time before he got hip to going through the Underground Railroad, but, you know, it's like he moved up to Dresden, Ontario, and, you know, he founded a AME church there. You know, he got a lot of the other escaped original people who went through slavery together, and he founded a community, and we even have a museum up there. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you know, it's good to know that kind of part surahs in your Quran. You know what I mean? Because it gives you more insight into, you know, the attributes and the ingredients that make you who and what you are. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, as far as my matrilineal line is concerned, you know, I did a DNA genetic tracking, and I found out that my old earth, her ancestry goes back to Cameroon, more specifically the Takar tribe in Cameroon. So I've been doing analysis on that part of my Quran too, and it's like, you know, that's very, very important because, you know, like, you know, it's so cliche, but it's true. You know, if you don't know where you come from, you can't be able to determine where you are or even be able to write the history or predict where you want to be at in life. You know what I mean? So, you know, I just wanted to share that, you know, and just add on for a minute. Peace.